Hey everyone, we're here at IBC, the International Broadcast Conference in Amsterdam, and we're at the MakeTV booth, and I have Steve Jalicy again here with me from ESL, aka Kline, and we're going to go more in depth into actual technical side of the broadcast and eSports. Last interview we had, which you can check out on our LinkedIn and Twitter, was more about the Katowice events that ESL holds. But to start off in a general kind of question, how does traditional broadcast versus esports broadcast work? Like, what are the main differences? And you can go as technical as possible. Would be great.
There's quite a lot of differences, I guess, and I'll just focus on our particular use case, because obviously one of the biggest differences is that traditional broadcast is very standardized, whereas in esports a lot of different companies are doing it completely differently. Yeah. The biggest difference for ESL and for what I'm doing specifically, the live content distribution, is really just our approach to how we do our encoding and how we do our transport. So all of our encoding is done on our own built hardware. It's just essentially, off-the-shelf consumer parts, regular PC servers that we're building. They're running Windows 10 or Linux. We build those ourselves, send those to the events. We do our own encoding with open source software like OBS, XSplit, FFmpeg, things that are just free and available. And then we contribute that over the public internet, which is probably the most dramatic difference to traditional broadcast. Yeah. No managed network, no satellite, no direct fiber connects. It's all public internet into the cloud with Make.TV. And then from there, we do all our transcoding, we organize whatever we want to do, and then distribute it back out again via the public internet to the takers. So in transportation, I guess, and the whole concept, that's really the fundamental difference. We use the cloud instead of like heavy dedicated physical infrastructure, and we use the public internet instead of managed networks.
So why actually use the cloud? What's the benefit there?
That's a really easy one to answer. It's scale. It's purely that's why we do it. We do so many events, we have so many feeds from each event, multiple stages at events, and then so many takers now, the numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's really just scaling. If we were trying to do fixed infrastructure for this, it would just be really, really difficult to keep up with the amount of events and the amount of content we have to generate. So with Make.TV, we can basically deploy servers as many as we want, wherever we want, on demand, because essentially it's not a managed service for us, it's a tool, and we can basically say, okay, we're doing an event in Brazil, and we ingest there, we spin up servers there, another one at the same time in New York. We can just scale unlimited, super quickly, without any lead time. Basically, it's super flexible, super scalable. That's why we do it.
So, how important is our linear broadcasts to esports in general?
The main esports audience is definitely online. It's on the big online platforms, but linear broadcasters are definitely becoming more and more important. There's bigger deals being signed. ESL has a lot of linear takers. Other publishers, Blizzard, Riot, have deals with big networks. It's definitely becoming more important. And I think pretty much all the big esports tournament organizers, production companies, they have to now consider a linear workflow. The coolest thing about the way we're doing it, I think, is that a lot of in traditional broadcast is linear first, and now they're thinking, how are we going to do our OTT strategy? Yeah. With ESL, we're thinking, okay, we have a really solid OTT strategy, and how will we do linear now? It used to be a managed service that was totally separated, but now we're slowly bringing that into what we do for our web platforms. So, I mean, my vision for the future would be one consolidated workflow, which is all public internet-based, cloud-based, but it's linear and web platforms all working together. The tricky part about that is the reliability and the expectations that linear broadcasters have, but I'm pretty confident that we are meeting and exceeding that currently. So.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for joining us at our booth. Again, Stephen Jalicy from ESL. You can catch more of our interviews on our LinkedIn and Twitter at MakeTV. Thank you so much, man, for joining us. Yeah.